And welcome to Planet Collingwood. My name is Monty Dean, here on Revolution Radio Studio A. How's that going? Like, you good? Like, yeah. Victoria has gone into another 7-day lockdown. So out of 5 weeks, we've been in lockdown for 4 weeks. Oh, joy. Anyway, if you enjoyed the last 2 hours, which a big thank you to Why Not and crew. If you enjoyed the last 2 hours, please go to freedomslips.com and or revolution.radio and donate what you can. Sign up to the Patreon and get some goodies. We're 100% listener supported, 100% volunteer. We're just 100%, yo. As well as once you're there at the website, you can go into the chat room, hang out with like-minded, like-hearted, just liked people. Or dare I say loved, but, two blokes being blokey, of course. Social distancing in that reference of, you know what I'm saying. If that is your thing. If not, well, permission. That's the only thing, really. It's just all about permission. And also on the website, you have merchandising. And if you've seen Spaceballs, it's all about merchandising. Spaceballs the flamethrower. And then Elon Musk created a flamethrower. So I'm not sure about Elon. Now, I have been joined by our Boston correspondent, Brandon Young. Brandon, how are you, sir?
Monty, good to hear your voice. How are you doing, everybody? Good to be here.
Yeah, thank you. And our suburb, I cannot say on radio correspondent, because it's a little bit close to home.
Whitehorse. Say Whitehorse.
Yes. From the Council of Whitehorse, it's Pony. Kind of ironic, really.
It's a big council, man.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, I'm in the same. Yeah, we're in the. Yeah, straight out of Whitehorse, yo.
Bro, you can Google Whitehorse and you'll see Pony.
Yeah, exactly.
Blowing smoke out the window.
Yeah.
I actually got caught by Google Maps blowing smoke out my window. And you can't see my face, but you can see the puff of smoke as I.
Well. Yeah. See, Home Affairs on
you, friend.
Yeah. Now, Home Affairs, for those playing at home, Home Affairs is basically the mega justice department here in Australia, where the current government, I'm not going into party politics because it's a mono party, but let's not get distracted but the man in the red tie, I believe him, but the man in the blue tie has got some good ideas. Hey, it's the same guy holding up both puppets. Thank you, Bill Hicks. And Home Affairs is basically, it's like the Homeland Security, where everything was lumped together and it's one thing. Conglomerate, controlling mechanism. Yo. So it used to be. I was going to call the show "G'day ASIO," but now I guess it's like "Welcome Home Affairs."
Hey yo, ASIO.
ASIO, yo. And yes, Pony's a Victorian. I like it. Melbourne, Australia. It's Victoria. If you can say California, we can say Victoria.
I'm Elizabethan.
Yes. We're all Victorians now, really, are we?
Yeah.
Should I be upper class and wear tall hats and oppress the poor?
Yes, we are very vintage.
Yes. Should we lose our husband and grieve for 40 years? I'm not sure.
Put him in a can.
So apparently, what is it? We're at 20 cases in a state of 8 million people, and they're extending the lockdown for 7 more days. So Thursday next week. And I think Cortek's stuck in traffic, if he's allowed out. He's in New South Wales.
Stuck in a testing line.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, man. Do not put that up my nose. But we are
version 7.
Yeah, week 72 of flattening the curve. It's going well.
Yeah. I haven't had a sniffle in 3 years.
Yeah, I haven't had a vaccine in 30. So,
you got a sniffle and a cookie and a mookie.
Yeah, and I just do I've said it before and I'll say it again. Pony, have you actually looked at some symptoms you may have of COVID? And 90% of them is if you smoke, taste, no smell, sniffle, a bit of phlegm, like you cough a lot. It sounds like a smoker to me.
It's called life. Yeah.
COVID light.
But here in the States, early on we had this thing where they said smoking actually protected you against it, COVID-19. So
it kind of makes sense. Yeah, because the COVID molecules have to
Which I
find
was
their
all
way through
for.
the carcinogenic tobacco.
Exactly.
If I strap my glass bong around my face and I'll have my own respirator.
To quote Bill Hicks, it's you healthy guys that are dying or in trouble.
Yeah, Darth Bong. Yeah.
Oh, it is quite amusing as well. Like in the last week, if you want to get a hint of woo-woo in the astrology, we went through the 8-8 Lions Gate. Sounds like I'm rapping.
Yes.
And since the full moon, and we had a new moon on the Lions Gate, and like, oh, isn't this coincidence? What a coinky dink. Just the energy's changed, and I've seen a lot of medical professionals coming out on videos saying, the CDC is full of crap, right? And it's the division is not getting wider, but it's being tested. I would say that because I saw someone actually say, how you got those profile rings on Facebook where I choose my immune system, and other ones are like, I got vaccinated. It's like, yeah, good for you. And someone said, this is probably the worst thing I've ever seen. And I'm so tempted to engage, but I withheld. But I would say, so you're saying people that survive COVID because of their immune system never happened, and people who have been vaccinated and unfortunately die from COVID never happened. Yeah. This is a bold statement.
That's what Lindsey Graham said today. He's kind of the U.S. Senate Majority Leader and Minority Leader. So.
Yeah, I'm familiar with. I never. He was always like a villain of the piece, but in the last 18 months, he's come out with some good zingers. Where it's like, oh, you found some testicles, did you, Lindsay? Nice.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know if he found them. He didn't put them on.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. He found them and then put him back down again and walked out of the room.
Yeah, what are these?
Hey, I feel sort of manly and I need to stand up. Oh, no, hang on, my wife's calling me. I'll put these down again and I'll walk and see what my wife needs because I am a faithful husband.
Thank you.
I hope they weren't attached to anybody.
Well, that's the other. Well, that's kind of scary, yeah. And also, I'm wondering as well with is the COVID narrative being shaken because they're pulling out the climate crisis crap again?
Being stirred, actually, by James Bond, ironically.
It's Agenda 2030.
Yeah, because 21 did so well, didn't it?
It's Skyfall.
Climate crisis.
Well, also the I think it's 50 years ago that they said that there's 10 years left.
Oh, there's a good YouTube video, black and white, from the 70s maybe, and it's a computer software program from that time that predicts mankind's demise by this time. And the guy reads off the chart. And it's an old printing thing that, it's like, oh yeah, I remember those, but random.
Listen, I think Monty and I know Doctor Who, so we know the Dalek.
You know the future already.
We already know. Well, we know what they're up to. We know what their plans are.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. 2155. I think. Yeah. 2155. They actually invade. So we have to prepare.
I just want that, just form a rap group with us instead,
Yeah.
I've got 99 problems, but the doctor is all of them.
Yes, exactly. From last week, flashbacks from last week, the Dalek drum machine. I actually had someone comment on the YouTube that made them out laugh and it was hysterical, and they were moved to actually comment. So we tapped the comedy vein for that one.
Wow, oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say that I actually unfollowed Chuck D this week as well on Instagram. Yeah, I'm just like, I'm not feeling him. You know what I'm saying, Like, you feel me? No, Charles, I don't.
Imagine he took it personal and rocked up to your front door.
Yeah, see, when I express my opinion, I usually back it up with, but please do not base your entire career on my opinion.
What did Chuck say?
And Cortek enters the room wearing pants.
It just looks like I'm wearing pants because you can only see the top half.
Ah, yes, like most newsreaders, yes. So
business up top.
You have a small desk.
Hey, language. Oh, desk. All right.
How's it go?
So Chuck T.
Yeah, what did he say?
Yeah, but the two Louisiana couple that defended their house in a gated community because the Black Lives Matter protesters broke in, and it's all they were pardoned by the governor, and apparently that's white supremacy. Because Chuck brought up another thing. I'm sure it was injustice, but I'm like, really? Like, they were defending their home. It's like, how is this white supremacy?
Yeah, I mean, they look like kooks doing it, but really they're just protecting their own property.
Well, once again, they broke, the protesters broke in. The gate wasn't open. They had to break into the gate. It was a gated community. And if you're watching for 4 months, everything burned down, honey, grab the AK.
It's funny because Chuck D is used to who? Flavor Flav, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that guy's nuts.
Well, yeah, no, they threw Flavor Flav under the bus ages ago. He's kind of distanced himself from him for a while.
Oh,
when they came over here and did the Public Enemy thing, well, Flavor Flav's a big part of it. But when they came over here, I don't know, they had something in Wollongong or something like that because they couldn't get the numbers. But they had a track for Flavor Flav every time he started to go off cue kind of thing, and they'd fade up the actual recorded track of his vocals kind of thing, and he'd just be blah blah blah.
They just electric.
And then looking at his mic, shaking the mic, wondering why it wasn't working and shit. But he was off the handle then.
It was if you look at the documentaries from 1987, he was off the handle back then.
Yeah.
He was upsetting the whole group because they needed someone to actually be his, superminder. Sort of, he needed an ankle bracelet basically of a person to run him around. His luggage when he went, he international flight, and his luggage was a plastic bag.
Yeah, I was like Johnny Rotten.
I think it all went bad at what was that song? Can't Do Nothing For You, Man. It kind of blew up for him. I think that just was too much.
Well, he's sort of he's the example of what Public Enemy back in the day would sort of like point out, where like Night of the Living Bassheads, which is a perspective on the crack epidemic, because they're all zombies and stuff like that. And basically, Flavor Flav was, even a member of our group has succumbed to all this tragedy because he constantly he drugs and stuff, and he's got 14 million kids, and it's kind of interesting. So yeah,
what I think it would be interesting is what Professor Griff has to say about all this.
Who's he in the group again?
He was the not DJ. Propaganda, the information minister type thing. Something. He would he's like. He got thrown out of the band because he mentioned the Jewish conspiracy, and that didn't work well in the mainstream. And so from I think 93, 94, Griff was out of the band, and then he brought they got him back again. But the last video I saw of Griff, he was on with that guy, and they were saying that black people have soul, white people don't, and the Jew. And so they bashed Jews and whites because they love this divide and conquer thing.
What about people with red hair?
There was a whole red reaction to it, and so the other guy actually apologized to the Jewish people. And as a white man, I'm like, excuse me, it's still racism. I actually had this conversation with my mum yesterday. Reverse racism is love. You can white people being attacked on the color of the skin is racism. I'm sorry to bring up a dictionary.
Yeah, there's no such thing as reverse racism. That's a good point. It is love.
Yeah, it's like reverse race. I saw a bit of George Carlin doing a book launch in '93. He refuses to call someone person of color because that's just another way of saying colored person, and that's highly offensive. And white is a color as well. Yeah, we're all humans, and this is where I get in trouble because human lives matter, human rights. Oh, but what about trans rights? Are you saying trans aren't human? I think you have an issue there, my friend.
So now get back to us.
Yeah, and it's as I said, I had this thought today. I generally want to start blam. Black lives also matter.
It's a much better word.
Yeah, and it makes its point where it's also means they should be included. But when we say Black lives matter, we don't mean anyone else's. It's like, well, it kind of does.
I think if you did get into that, I think the administration's up for grabs at the moment, isn't it? I think didn't that person take off in by about 5 or 6 hours?
Yeah, well, that's the other reason I'm doing it. I'm going to probably get a house out of it. So, good times, good times. But now it's they're going after the kids with the vaccines, and so.
Did you see Apple wants to scan people's images on their iPhones? If that's not the last nail in the coffin for Apple, I don't know what is.
Well,
but we've just finished our giant home base. It looks like a donut. What do you mean no one wants to buy our product anymore? Yeah.
What do you mean our product's made in China in slavery? But it's if you've got photos of kids, and also pedantic man, they are checking. Like they're saying they want to, but they already are.
They've got fences up on the roof now, so the iPhone employees can't jump off. So it's all right. I've heard they fixed that problem.
Yeah. Who would you like to work at Apple? Yeah. Just one quick question. Why do you have suicide nets?
Ooh.
Why would you want to live? Why would you want to work at Apple? Why
fun.
should I work at Apple? What's with the suicide nets? I mean, you have suicide nets.
Cargo nets. Those are cargo nets. You
for birds.
Trampoline? It's a trampoline.
Because the phones are so damn slippery.
No, it's just fun when you're on your break. You
Wait for a punchline.
Yeah, because you're actually texting your boss your suicide note, and it just slips out of your hands and falls off the building. It's terrible.
It was a long drop.
Yeah, that airdrop doesn't work at 200 stories.
Can you imagine jumping off a building, a high rise? This is it. And then being caught, and you're like,
yeah, I know. I know we shouldn't make fun of suicide, but there is an element of comedy of like, if you try and commit suicide and you fail, where do you go from there?
Yeah, it's like a Simpsons thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I failed at trying to kill myself.
I failed at life.
Like something.
I failed at trying to kill myself.
Yeah, the only way is up, my friend. It's like, well, all right, I'll become the best person I can and be happy.
Yeah, try that. Try that exercise. A bit more challenging.
Yeah. I actually shared a meme. You know that classic Batman meme where he's slapping Robin.
Yeah.
This one I got from Bashar, not the leader of Syria, group on Facebook where Robin's saying, I just can't do it. My life is so hard. And Batman slapping him saying, snap out of it. You create your own reality.
Right.
Very cool.
Yeah. It's funny because it's true. So, and it is kind of fun, being on, seeing the conspiracy world freaking out for the last 12 months. It's like, all that stuff I've been talking about for decades coming true. Yeah, that's a bit telling, don't you think? Like you've been sort of talking about this, and then it happens. And the other thing as well, the mainstream alternative of talking about the stuff we're talking about from like 10 years ago. I'm like, really? There's censorship. Oh, we're living in a police state. That's fascinating. Please go on.
Cute. Okay, off you go.
Go and play with the other kids. There you go. Yeah, go on your bike, son. And they'll probably still make fun. They're usually comedians, but they also probably make fun of. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Really? Your last 3 videos sound like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of people talking out there.
Well, yeah, there's. I shared a Rumble video of a doctor in Indiana, and it's 6.5 minutes of truth bombs. Because he's actually, unlike Dr. Fauci, he has patients, and he's cured them. And he's just pointing out how the CDC's corrupt. And in short, he didn't say this, but in short, basically what we're seeing is pharmaceutical companies need money. And then I've seen it's like, if you catch COVID, it's $72,000. Vaccine free. No, the government pays for it, and the government gets money from the taxpayers, and you're a taxpayer. Do you want me to walk you through again?
I can't believe Fauci hasn't been hung up to dry already over all of this.
Well, that's the other thing. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like the division is great, and I think a lot of people are cognitive dissonance and betrayal. Now, the duality of vaxxers and anti-vaxxers. Try and live in the middle, if that makes sense. Because if you go extreme, you're lost because you can't convey, you can't have a conversation. and you can't have
Good stories.
intercourse.
Interpersonal dynamics.
In a speech-related language, you
Yeah, of course.
perverts.
Of course.
Language game.
Hey, get your minds out of the game. Come
Yeah,
on.
because Tim Pool, I don't know if you saw it. Tim Pool had is his name Chris Chapman? I think that's his name, and Vulch or whatever. He had a righty and a lefty on, and it was really cool because no one threw a chair. They said, "Oh, I disagree with that." Fair enough.
They
And it was
just
like that.
made
It was like that for
pornography.
2 hours. It was like, this is fantastic. I don't agree with 80% that guy says, but I don't want to kill him because everyone else
They
has
ended up
been
kissing.
respected.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, the behind the scenes footage was
that
a
would
bit.
be funny.
Yeah, they took some ease and started making out. But anyway,
So now I know how
that's
to
a
get
joke,
Monty
ladies
a
and
kiss.
gentlemen. Yeah, that's a joke. If anyone clips that part of the show,
Send him some ease. Send us some ease, everybody.
Yeah,
And we'll have a
ecstasy.
great show.
You make a good dance track out of all that last snippets of what you guys were saying.
serotonin,
Kiss me again.
serotonin.
Kiss me again. Kiss me again. Kiss me
Down
again.
there, just there. I love you. I love everything. I love this
I know how to-
chair.
I love lamp.
The Colours Children. I remember seeing a comedian. It was one of the best improvs and what's referred to as a save in stand-up comedy, where he accidentally said, "I don't know," and then talking to a hay bale. Now, I don't know if you've ever talked to a hay bale, but the Colours Children. So anyway, like bam, can't remember anything else in the set, or even his Adam someone. Anyway, but I remember that one because and it's an easy throwaway line. You know, anything with acid, the Colours Children. Remember Dr. Frink when he's got that kid's toy? And it's like you push it and it makes everything sort of bubbles and stuff. Like he's like,
What? You mean
okay,
like
kids, look the inertia and the energy exchange. Can we play it? No, you don't have the intelligence. Oh, look, the Colours Children, the Colours.
I never had that toy. I don't know.
Okay, well, and see, this is my brain going. Oh, hang on.
I only had meat to grill. I grilled the meat, and that was it.
The burning of flesh.
Yes.
Oh no, I've added eggs to my diet and seem to be losing weight. So that protein thing
Eggs
seems
are
to.
awesome.
Yeah. Eggs are, you gotta, yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And I was a sadist. I had chicken mince and I added eggs. It's like fun for the whole family.
Yeah.
And part of me is screaming, "Don't do it! Don't do it! It's not right." I'm
Well,
like,
it's a circle of life.
yeah, and technically they're both chickens, just in different form.
Exactly.
You're not supposed to do that or something.
Who knows? I probably won't do it. It was
Interesting
an
to think
experiment.
about, you know. An egg is a single cell organism.
In packaging.
Yes. In a carton.
Yeah, remember a couple of years ago, someone in marketing thought this would be brilliant. I know, okay, work with me. Oranges, all right? You know, round those orange balls, of fruit. Why don't we? Because peeling them's really hardcore, right?
Yeah.
Let's peel them and then put them in a plastic container and sell them.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and like okay, yeah. If only nature had thought of packaging the fruit in the first place.
Remember that conversation about plastics we were having a little while ago? Trying to get that big pile of rotating plastics in the ocean a little bit smaller.
Yeah. And
yeah.
What is that quote from Alex Jones? Listeners, people in the chat on YouTube, please help me. Tell Mr. Jefferson.
Frogs are gay.
No, I don't think Thomas Jefferson. Yeah, I can see that. I'm going to create a country, have sex with my slaves, and point out that amphibians are homosexual. I don't think that was Thomas Jefferson.
I
You
think
said
it
Alex
was.
Jones.
Oh.
Yeah. Next week. Oh, we just found
Did you say Alex
this.
Jones?
You
Yes.
said Alex Jones, didn't you?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, Alex. There's a whole rap. There's a whole dance mix of Alex Jones going. They're making the frogs gay,
Oh,
Yeah.
and instead of
Vaccines.
instead of like watching Endgame, where through white papers he explains what people in the government are trying to do, which seems to be unfolding now. Oh
Right.
no, he thinks gays are frogs. He thinks frogs are gay.
He thinks gays are frogs.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've got a frog in my throat.
That's taken on a whole new meaning.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Kiss
Hello.
my toad.
My, what a big toad you have. Ribbit.
Gives new meaning to Frog Stomp by
Yes.
Silverchair.
Yeah, it actually does. Yeah, I someone had described Silverchair, two footballers and a ballerina. I'm like, yeah, fair enough.
Is that right?
Yeah, well,
Isn't one of them like Christian now, and just like sort of Christian singing and whatnot?
They've all,
Probably.
One of
they've
them
all gone a
always
bit
turns.
wayward now. One
Yeah,
of
the
them
guy
always
from Corn.
turns.
One of them always
One of them
turns,
always
man.
turns.
The guy from Corn turned.
actually
Megadeth.
two of them have. The bass player from Korn is a Christian, and the guy that left the band because he was a massive meth head and realized I'm destroying my life and I have a daughter to look after, so he stopped doing drugs. Then he found Jesus. And he went hard. He went hardcore in for 5 years, and eventually it was like, "Dude, shut up. We know, yes, yeah, Jesus is king. Thank you for that. I don't need to be told every 10 seconds."
I wonder what he's
I'm
found
Christian.
this year.
Well, it's interesting. Like, he doesn't drink anymore, but he consumes candy like nothing else. And it's like, yeah, that's the sugar deficiency. But he's still skinny, and they're actually started to tour again.
Fat boy.
Yeah. something about water, tapping the water or something. Going back
Wait
to
till tomorrow.
yeah, but tomorrow never comes.
No,
You're living in the
tomorrow never
future.
ends.
That was a pretty rocking song at the time.
Yeah, it did its trick back in 1994. They were referred to in the press here in Australia as Nirvana in pajamas.
Yeah.
How
Kelly
complimentary.
Osbourne loved them.
Hey, Pony,
Yeah.
I never heard that one before. Yes, Cortek.
did you see that article? NASA finds a rare metal asteroid worth 10 quintillion drazillion billion dollars.
Yes, I saw that story several years ago as well. And
Same thing.
basically, my only opinion, is that story is there to give Bitcoin more substance in that. I remember there's these two twins who are into crypto, and they were explaining to this non-crypto person about crypto and Bitcoin and how gold's good, this and that, but gold, what if they find an asteroid that has a lot of gold on it? Wouldn't the gold price go down? Well, it makes logical sense. And they showcase that story or those stories to this guy. He's like, oh, yeah, Bitcoin is only $1 million.
We've already found
You're not going to find an asteroid for the Bitcoin. Oh, yeah, Bitcoin's good, Bitcoin good. So that's it.
Yeah, but the thing is that the metal markets are manipulated, because if you remember, Max Kaiser has been running a campaign of buying physical silver to crash. Oh, which bank is it? Is it JP Morgan? One of the big banks, because they're oversold. Because look, I've got a piece of paper that's saying I've got silver. You actually
And
need
then
the silver
trying
in
to
your hand.
cause a run on the bank kind of thing.
Yeah, because they've oversold. It's like if they've got 3 grams of silver, they've sold 86 grams of silver. I'm like, oh, this is not going to work out well. And I do remember an article like, we found a diamond planet. Yeah, sure you have.
I saw that too. That was my brain just went, that was cool fun. But I don't know, but it's really, I mean, everything's an artist representation of what's out there, isn't it?
Well, basically, yeah, and it's I like it's an Einstein meme where Ryan, shine like a diamond. Well, diamonds reflect; they don't actually shine.
Pedantic man.
Yes, but unfortunately, you cannot connect that to the Pink Floyd song "Shine On You Crazy Diamond" because it's a metaphor. It's not a scientific-based fact.
Yeah, Pink Floyd, cool. Well, they were.
Yeah, and I like the song, so no poo-pooing the Pink Floyd.
Noted.
Yes. By the way, in chat they're complaining like there's no laughs, there's no comedy, and yet we're laughing at the jokes, because we're Australian, and welcome to the ramblings of Australians. Well, yeah. What should we do?
I'm Australian.
That's not an accent. This is an accent.
Make it funny then. Come on in and make it funny. I mean.
Yeah, but Monty's got, you put expectations on yourself, Monty.
Yes, but the thing is, I point out, if I suck, it's still funny.
Yeah, but they're not funny too. That's a funny thing.
Well, yeah, it's all good. It's good. Now we have to wait 30 seconds. So you always, not all jokes are funny. I mean, explain Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Because that's a joke, but I'm not laughing.
They laughed at my crayon drawing. I laughed at their chalk outline.
Oh, what's that great quote from Rick and Morty? Don't you boo me. I've seen what makes you cheer.
Yeah, so good.
Bam.
Some of the best statements.
And it's interesting that I think they've got another 10 seasons, and it's hopefully you find some better writers, because this season's been a bit wobbly. And have you heard South Park? They're getting paid $900 million to do another 7 seasons and movies
20
and
movies or something.
Yeah, something ridiculous. Yeah, and it's I don't think you really need more money, chaps, but well done.
They're still doing the same animation.
They do, but they'd definitely be continually bargaining with the people who who are desperate for content right now. Netflix or whatever.
Well, Kevin Smith doesn't have any content after Master of the Universe. Yeah. And also, for those new listeners to Revolution Radio, this is not a representation from the rest of the station. I'd like to point this out. We're goofing around talking about entertainment, so we're kind of a pressure valve for the information and the what if and the gaming out of the rest of the station. So
set them expectations, mate.
I also saw during the week why midgets, vertically challenged people giggle when they run. It's because the grass tickles their balls.
Well, there you are, ladies and gentlemen. History in the making. Cortek has upgraded the snail joke. I was actually watching Rich Little. Well, how would you? They just do it very slowly. Rich Little, the comedian who does fantastic impressions. He's actually doing a play at the moment, something like the trial on the Potomac. And the idea is if Richard Nixon didn't resign and stayed president, and it goes through that, and it's a comedy. Huh. But he was on, is it Newsmax TV? I saw on YouTube. And they were explaining, the interviewer was getting him to do all different voices. And Mr. Little was friends with Ronald Reagan back in the 80s. And at one point, Ronald Reagan, Richard Little he's having lunch at the White House, and he's running late, and he's heading towards the Lincoln Room, and President Reagan's doing a press conference at the front of the Lincoln Room, and it's Rich, you're here, good, you do a better version of me, you do this, I'm going, and then Scarpers. And so Rich Little's actually doing a press conference as Ronald Reagan, as the president. And it's some of they're corny jokes, but they're a reason why they still work, because it's brilliant. Where a general said, "Mr. President, with all the tensions that are happening in the Middle East, will you be sending the jets in?" And he said, "Well, I don't think we really need to send those football. I don't think the Middle East needs more football players, so the Jets can stay in New York and continue to play hockey."
Nice one. I just like to
yeah. I sometimes wonder.
I liked it much more when there were actors in there.
Well, better actors.
People that had some acting experience anyway.
Exactly. The actors they have now are shocking. Did you see that Barry Soetoro turned 60 this week?
Yeah, I saw that.
And Martha's Vineyard. Yeah.
Yeah, in Martha's Vineyard, which due to climate change should be flooding soon. And someone pointed out, this is Obama's house. Ooh. And then the tent is 3 times the size of his, we're just having a quiet affair. He had 600 people, no social distancing or masks.
Yep,
because there's a pandemic happening.
I saw him doing a bit of an old man shuffle dance out there on the dance floor.
Yeah.
Obviously, someone in the paid-for band didn't respect the do not publish anything rules.
Actually, it was yes. There's a video that got pulled down because they're not allowed to, but someone captured it and they're sharing it. And it's like, yeah, there you go. Rules for thee, not not for me or whatever it is. So. Good times. So yeah, so yeah, well, I'm thrown because like I don't know if it's because I'm slightly empathic, but another 7 days of lockdown, so I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like, you want me to pay rent? Well, so far out of the last 4 weeks, I've been in lockdown for 3. So how am I supposed to generate money?
It's a little ridiculous. Melbourne's gone back in, or it's come out and gone back in. So Sydney's still kind of in this weird malaise. So tell me about fake poo. Have you covered that?
No, not yet, not today. But that came. Well, I think. See, I did too many shows during the week, and so everything blends into one. So,
not this afternoon, anyway.
No, not this afternoon.
Is it like plant-based hamburgers?
No, they just taste like shit. They're fake meat tastes like shit. Yeah, fake meat poo. No, in Wangaratta, apparently they found COVID in the sewage, and that's the reason why the rural part of Victoria was shut down. And then it came out that was fabricated, and so just 2 days earlier they lifted the restrictions in country Victoria. However, today it was been announced that Melbourne will continue to be in a 7-day lockdown.
Yeah. Well, I think we're winning as far as lockdowns go. I mean, in town, is anyone anywhere? Everyone else is just going about their business in the rest of the world, aren't they?
No.
Okay.
Well, America is, the pandemic's over. It's like, you do know there's other countries, right?
What about on the Death Star? What about over in the UK?
The UK, they've only been in one lockdown, but it's been 9 months.
Yeah, they're in the UK.
Yeah, it's. I've been watching Killing Eve because I ended up watching it.
That's great. Yeah.
Well, I like the first season. Second season, I'm like, oh, okay, and I've started the third season. They're apparently it's been ordered for a 4th and final season, and it's a spy thriller, and Phoebe, I always Bridge Waller, Throat Wobbler, whatever her name is. She created Fleabag, and after watching one episode of that, well, this is not a comedy. I'm not watching the rest of this. So the humor sort of for me just doesn't work for me. But I can see what they're trying to do. But it is good. But there's a Russian spy short version, and it's like, well, do you want to stay in England? You have a vacation in England. It's like, yeah, but in vacation you need sunshine. So,
is this some sort of James Bond thing?
Yeah. It's a spy thriller where someone from MI5 is tracking a international assassin.
Because the name, I can. Pussy galore, meet throat wobbler.
Yeah. No, that's the person who wrote it. Based on some books by Luke Jennings. He's I can't. Welcome to 2021. You can't assume anyone's gender, even though that science points out there's only 2. Like, I go by skeleton. Suffer. So yeah. Oh, and apparently the Olympics are over. Yeah, I didn't care either.
I tuned in for a couple of things. It was kind of cool. Skateboarding was cool. Japan did a good job in the facilities. The Olympic Committee did an absolutely woeful job in supplying anyone who could commentate and call the tricks. I think they borrowed them from badminton or something. Apart from that, I thought they did a great job.
There's an idea.
What?
That was the first giant Nintendo game everyone played from the couch.
Which one?
The Olympics. They used androids. No, they didn't. But
interesting. Well, I used Mario.
It was all super. It was all got just a bit too weird when they tried to pipe in sound effects of people.
There you go. They should put a bag of money over the hurdles.
Bling, 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 bling.
I was just trying to think how you can pipe in the sound effect of that bling as you got the bag.
Some comedians have come up with the idea of the drug Olympics, where you give athletes drugs and they try and do their sport.
That's my idea. I want to see those calves just burst on the 100 meters as they go across the line. Under 5 second time.
I reckon for the equestrian events, it's a coin toss from who actually gets ketamine, the horse or the rider.
What about the prison Olympics?
No, I think you'd have to make that mandatory for both riders.
No, I think it'd be more fun either. The rider's freaking out or the horse can't move.
Okay, just got to make sure both you guys are in a big K-hole before you get on the horse and try and jump fences.
There's a big fence. Yeah.
Oh my God, that'd be so good to watch. Yeah, that would be a spin-off series by itself.
Or as I saw Lenny Henry do jokes like this in the 80s where they go to Disney World and all the hippies in the 60s are having acid flashbacks. It's the dark! It's the dark!
Makes me want to go Disney World up right now.
Not really, no. But that's one thing here at Planet Collingwood we've discovered, that a pedophile for Disneyland is Disneyland.
I used to go every year to Disney World and actually worked for the mouse for a summer.
You went to Mousewitz?
How sweaty did it get in that helmet, in one of those helmets? It's a sweaty affair, isn't it?
They can't. I didn't do it, but you can't do it for more than 10 minutes or 20 minutes. Yeah. And they switch up. They're called cast members. Yeah.
Yeah, so they get paid scale. That's they get paid scale. That's why, because they treat it like Walt Disney's granddaughter is just sickened by what the company has become, and she's fighting for workers' rights at Disney because they're being paid utter crap. So obviously, I mean, you went every year, so obviously it was enjoyable. Without the extreme price hike, what's the experience like?
I went 2 days after September 11th.
Oh, bold move.
So there was we took a bus down. There were no planes flying, so we took a bus, and we were supposed to leave out of Logan, where the planes supposedly took off from. So we took a bus all the way down from Boston, and we stayed there for 2 weeks. There was no one in line. There were no lines. It was great.
I love theme parks. I love them.
So
it's fantastic.
Yeah, that's the one thing about lockdown is I'm driving everywhere for 5 reasons. Anyone listening in from the Victorian government, but there's no traffic. It's brilliant.
Yeah. So it all matters about my experience and how good things are for me. So Disney was great. Disney was fantastic.
Yeah. Someone actually say I'm a bit spiritual, so leave me alone, or F off. And I said, I love people. That's why I'm a hermit.
Yeah.
Didn't Walt steal all those stories anyway from overseas?
A lot of them.
Rhymes?
Yep.
Well, I mean, the fairy tales have been around for at least a century.
The music as well.
Yeah.
The music as well. Yeah. They went down to Brazil and they were funded by the U.S. government. There's a documentary about this, I think, on YouTube, and you can watch it. But they went down. The U.S. government gave Disney, Walt Disney, a bunch of money to go have basically a summer-long adventure in Brazil. And they went to Carnival, and they went to all this, and that's where you get I go. The whole Snow
White.
Yeah.
What is it? What's that world song that I've blanked it out because it's so annoying. No, that's not the right one.
That's where Walt is rolling in his cryo chamber right now.
Yep, his head's spinning like a top.
World.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah, please stop. Apparently that's between 11 to 16 minutes long, and like if you're talking MK Ultra, right that. Yeah. I like the Simpsons when they went to Duff Gardens. That was brilliant.
Yeah,
Duff beer for me,
Duff
beer for you. I'll have a Duff.
You have one too. The Duff Light, Duff Normal, and what all coming out of the three tubes out of the one tube. That was my favorite bit.
It seems that the talented writers have some sort of musical side to them as well, because the South Park boys are known for their musicals. I think Sia said when she worked with them, she's like, guys, you should be writing this stuff for a job, Music
That
was just
that musical that they did, South Park Dudes, was that Mormon one or whatever. That
Oh, yeah,
every single stage trick, cool stage trick with backgrounds and lighting that I've ever seen used in any kind of theater or anything, they used them all just so well, and everything. It was just the best, and so funny.
What I love about it is the Mormon Church have taken on the chin. Let your imagination run real wild there, but they don't really pick at it. They actually start doing a marketing campaign when the show's in the city, because you saw the Book of Mormon. Are you interested? And that they see it as a recruitment drive.
Do the Mormons make you hold on
And the
to
Family Guy?
those two rods, or is that just Scientology?
It's Scientology.
That's Scientology, yeah.
I've done
wacky-
that.
The Family Guys. What's his name?
Yeah.
Seth?
Auditing.
He does
Set-
musical.
Yeah, but the South Park guys, their first movie was called Cannibal, the musical, and it's about there was either explorers or just a wagon train that got lost in Colorado, and they resorted to cannibalism to survive.
Yes.
And so they made a musical out of it.
Is that
Well done.
before or after basketball?
No, way before. It was before.
Basketball.
I think
Basketball,
it was
yeah.
Basketball's awesome. Before
That's
they
the
actually
only
did
thing I've
South
seen.
Park. And then South Park the movie is basically a musical as well. And Trey Parker, who writes most of the music, just knows what they're doing. And the Book of Mormon is written basically from him. And so anything through, shut your effing face, Uncle Effer.
Right.
That's a musical number. Even actually have that, like, when did this turn into a medley? Because they had 4 songs all melding into one, if you remember, in longer, bigger and uncut. They also have a band too called DV. It's a pornographic term. Means an actress will do double anal, double vagina.
Pretty tricky business, that.
Yeah, it's very hard to try and promote a band with that name. And then all the music in Team America, freedom is just $1.05.
I do have to say on another topic, and it was brought to my attention today, that today is the 2-year or 3-year anniversary of the dude that stole the plane from, I think it was Washington in the United States. And he took off, and he had only played video games, and he somehow took off in this plane and was flying around, and you can get footage. His name is the Sky God or something. No, Sky something. And but he was on, he's just like, he's up flying around this jumbo jet, and he does a barrel roll. He did this whole flip and everything, and unfortunately he ended up crashing and perishing. But in the meantime, you have all this audio footage of him saying, with the air traffic controllers and stuff, and he's like, "Yeah, oh man, this is awesome. I want to see the orca whale. I want to see the Olympics. I want to see this. I just went down right there. This is great. I'm gonna try to do a barrel roll, So I want anyway. It's really interesting to check out. I suggest people check that out.
What was his name? What was it called?
Oh, I
what
forget.
bit of search terms?
I would put it in the YouTube or Sky.
I've got here Colton Harris Moore.
That's
the one.
Maybe
2
it.
years
I'm
ago.
not sure.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
Teenage fugitive who stole planes to escape capture.
There you go. No. That's not it. He didn't
No.
escape capture. I don't know if he was escaping capture, but he just kind of he was an air traffic controller, and he was on the spectrum, and he kind of hopped in this airplane somehow, took off in it, and he was flying around, and he didn't know how to land. And they're trying to kind of tell him, it's really interesting, but he's just joking around. He's like, the aircraft traffic controller the whole time. He's like, yeah, I just want you to whisper sweet nothings in my ear.
There are
stuff.
I reckon if it's not this Colton Harris Moore, this Colton Harris Moore is a pretty interesting dude.
Yeah, that sounds interesting
I
too.
don't know. That sounds like the plot to Try and Catch Me. I haven't watched it yet, but that's a Spielberg movie with Tom Hanks and Leonardo DiCaprio.
It does sound like that dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are repo guys.
No, I forget the guy's name, but I think it's like Sky God, not Sky God, but you want to look up like Sky. I'll look it up. Okay, you guys hang on.
Yeah, maybe do that. That would be good. Because you have no idea. You wasted 5 minutes going. He had hair. You know, he looked like a man. If you remember Mad TV.
It's either something else or the pandemic. Topic-wise.
Yeah.
And it's like if you're not talking about the pandemic, people don't want to hear it. It's the only thing.
Well, yeah, the division. Yeah, I'm sort of not tired. Well, most people are getting tired. Like, a lot of Victorians are ignoring the news because we have to.
King, this just breaking.
What is it? What is it?
Sky King.
Sky King.
King. I'll put a link in our chat. Sorry.
Oh, it's brand new. Sweet. Sky King.
Yeah, Victorians are overlooking at our premier because some people say he's got a face to punch. Really, I shared a meme. It's the Premier of New South Wales, but she's painted as Jigsaw from the Saw movies. Hello, New South Wales. I'd like to play a game. So,
You can see
and my what's the technical term in Australian slang? Oh, shit stirrer. When I found someone actually put Daniel Andrews' face on Colvin, is that his name? The guy that accidentally killed George Floyd, the police officer. So it's Daniel Andrews' face on the police officer and the knees on George Floyd's head, and someone's just put at the bottom Victorians. And I thought, no, I won't do it for the first lockdown, but I will if we extend it. So I've put that up, and I'm wondering if I'm getting shadow banned from Facebook.
The censorship on Facebook's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. As long as you go with their narrative.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
That's how the AI learns how we think, because we're not saying anything with the meme. It's just an image, and it means something. So. Yeah, interesting. For me, I'm just thinking at the moment.
Yeah. Oh,
We'll
some
later.
countries have talked about trying to ban the meme, and it's like, how are you going to do that? Really?
Yeah. Some right-wing comedy is getting outrageous. Oh, shut up.
Oh my god! If they ban the meme, you'd have to piece memes together to get it. Then.
Yeah. Well, I think Europe. The European Union tried to bring it in. It was a copyright law because the thing, you're using a meme and it's a copyright image. But I think the defense is, but it's a parody when we're not selling the product of what it is.
Exactly.
We're
have to
using it to
the image now.
Yeah.
So here's
it's all in text.
Picture of Daniel Andrews. It's in the
Well, and
shape
also.
of.
And you would have heard this meme, which is the left can't meme. Because have you seen when the left try and meme? Like, what the hell is this?
Did you just call me Constable?
No.
No. I know. But it sounds like.
I know. I'm from the Victorian Parliament. You have to stay inside now.
Jeez. You sound like, was it Mitzi from South Park? Hey, Mitzi!
Yeah. Well, I mean, at some point, constitutionally, is New South Wales a tyranny dictatorship because they've got the army on the streets?
Well, they said that, but yeah.
No, there are some out there, but yeah. But you've also got drones selling it. This is a helicopter. Everyone has to get off the beach now.
That was so dumb.
Yeah,
if I'm out there exercising or whatever, and I sit down to have a little rest and a talk and sit in the sun, some idiot on Loudhail is not going to get me to move on. You know, the police are coming. Like,
all you got to do.
Fly on, bub.
Just wait 20 minutes. It's got to go to recharge.
I know, the petrol's $1 million in those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, just that the recharge is the charge only lasts about 20 minutes for your standard average drone. So
I'm talking about helicopters. They had one in Watson's Bay in Sydney. Some footage of a helicopter up there with a loud hailer going.
oh, okay, yeah.
Keep moving.
Yeah. Or what? We'll fly closer.
I want to Kate off.
Basically, yeah, and as you know, I've 18 months in, people don't believe the narrative because it's based on lies. So anyway, we've made it through the first half. I think we played well, some good scoring, and we're just going into the change rooms and suck on some oranges, and we'll be back out on the field for the second half where we change sides. You're listening to Revolution Radio from Slips.com. This is Planet Collingwood. We'll see you on the other side. Yes, here at Planet Collingwood, Studio A, my name is Monty Dean on Revolution Radio. Our opinions are our own, and I'll start some controversy right now. I allow pineapple on my pizza. Yes, I know, everyone calm down. Please stop rioting. As you said, we are in Studio A, freedomslips.com, revolution.radio. If you enjoyed the last hour, please go to said websites and donate what you can. We don't accept children. I mean, after the last time. And to help out this station because we're 100% listener supported. So thank you for all your support. And then while you're at the website, see if you can buy some merchandising and then pop into the chat room. And there is actually each show now, Flippy changes their name to Flippy Wood or Flippy Dean. And so Flippy Dean is actually another avatar from the multiverse of me. So, you know, I am God and I am everywhere. I have been joined by other versions of the Prime Creator, Brendan Young, Pony, and Cortek. Only two of those names are fake. I'll let you guess which ones. How are you, gentlemen? If I may be so bold to non-gender you.
I think a gentleman is a very kind term.
Well, yeah, I mean, gentlemen and ladies, it's not insulting because, you know, you're a gentleman and you act like a lady. I'm offended. What? So you're going to be a complete bastard and a bitch? How am I going to open? How am I supposed to do a church service? It's like, yo, mother lovers, you cretins, sluts and bastards. How are you?
I think that sums it all up, doesn't it? I mean, if people can't get in with that, what's next?
Well, in this day and age, who the heck knows?
The white horse wants to know, Monty, if you know anyone who male delivers within.
Oh, what?
Ladies and gentlemen, for those playing at home, Pony likes to play with code, and sometimes we can't decipher that code.
Neither can I.
But at least you're open to like, nah, I did. That's the one thing I love about your shows, where I'm going to go through some code and this is what I figured out, and I also could be extremely wrong. So let's get to it. So yeah, you're not selling anything.
Sounds wacky.
Yeah, you're not selling anything except for just a bit of critical thinking. And like one premise for Planet Collingwood is when we used to do the conspiracy side of things, we still do, but it's through a lens of comedy and we just laugh at it now because, like, really, life is kind of funny. Yeah,
well,
exactly.
To be fair, and even you guys inspired me and in those times as well with certain subject points and matters and. So.
Yeah. It's comedy is making connection in a funny way, and some of them would trigger like, oh, of course, pineapple, and then some
pineapple juice.
Someone's gone to the toilet again.
Yeah. Well, no. If it is in Victoria, it is raining, so we'll just think that the landlord hasn't fixed the roof in the house.
That's a wet lemon.
Yeah. Hey, there's no need for that lemon. Oh,
it's one of those lemon squeezy things.
Yeah. Easy lemon squeezy.
A lemon douche.
Yeah. So that's the fun part of Planet Collingwood was, we take the safeties off and we explore. We ask a question, and hopefully by the end of the show we get an answer. And usually it's so we can find rabbit holes that are dead ends, if that makes sense. So like, we really, at least we know the answer to that. Like, let's go a bit galactic spiritual woo-woo. What would happen if we had a free will planet in a free will solar system in a free will galaxy in a free will universe? Well, here we are, and we've got the answer, and we're never doing it again.
There you go.
Someone would make a show called Planet Collingwood.
Well, I mean, there are obviously benefits to the experiment.
This is your sandbox.
Yeah. I don't have sand because it's small grading and it gets into everything.
Gets into everything.
I'm from the Anakin Skywalker school of sandbox.
Do you think beaches were once glass houses?
They were,
and they can be again. We have the technology.
Planets, little diamond asteroids.
It's all about the carbon, and that's the fun part as well. Where carbon's lethal to the planet. It's a building block of the planet. You're a knob.
You want to tax it, huh?
Yeah. So I'm all for sustainability and improving and invention. Invention, everything else like that. But at the end of the day, their goal of dealing with the sun doing its thing over hundreds to 1,000 years is I need to give 70% of my income to the UN. How is that going to stop the sun cycle?
Sounds like bloody.
Well, you'll be dead. You have to worry about it.
Yeah. Well, I caught Dean Cain, who played Superman, Clark Kent in Lois and Clark. Yeah. I'm just thinking of the Explorers, Lewis and Clark. He's an actor and does stuff. So, but anyway, he's like, I'm about. This was yesterday or the day before.
He's a football player.
Yeah. Well, that explains the physique.
College.
But he tweeted, "I'm going to watch An Inconvenient Truth. What should I brace myself with?" And there's hundreds of responses where it's like most of it's a lie. At one point, someone said, the world ended 11 years ago. Because if you remember that film, it's and another person said, put it on double speed so Al Gore speaks normally. Well, the world the hockey stick, and I invented the internet.
God, I've forgotten all about that.
Yeah, and in the UK, it went to court, and the court banned that movie being played in schools because there was no factual information in it, or something like that.
I'm going to have I'm going to have subliminal dreams tonight about polar bears, I think.
Oh, yeah. Did you know when Al Gore made that movie, the polar bear population was 7,000. And now, unfortunately, it's up to 43,000. So,
but they also
those are COVID numbers. I don't believe you.
Well,
they also kill 300 polar bears shooting.
It took 3 days to realize. No, I said with a camera.
Yeah,
shoot them with a camera.
COVID Express.
Have you seen that photo where it's like, you may be cool, but are you cool as you're patting a mother polar bear while the baby polar bear has sex with your leg? Yeah.
I saw that picture. No. That's super cute. There's a lot of trust going on there. It's like, well, I'm friendly. Here's some flowers, little baby cub.
Have you guys seen
that's a big bear.
Have you seen the Arkansas state YouTube video where they're trying to get black people to get the vaccine?
No, but I know the racism card has come out in the subject. So please go ahead.
Basically, it's this guy. He's like, I'm out here hustling as an entrepreneur on the streets. He's like, it's like, wait, what business on the streets do you do?
I'm a businessman.
He's like, I'm selling stuff. Like, he really says it. He's wearing a gold chain. He's like on an old Mustang, And it's like, on the streets. He's like, I got to get contact with people, And basically, they're basically saying, stupid black people, get your stupid shots,
Yeah, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. But apparently the other guys are racist.
It's real and it's bizarre. It's absolutely bizarre. So but it's hilarious in a way because they're really messing up the script.
I've seen some propaganda come out in Sydney.
Oh, it's such propaganda.
There's ads with a young girl on it. Looks like a kind of student-ish looking girl. I don't know if she's got books in a bag or a backpack on one shoulder or something like that. That's kind of the look that they're going for. And the message is, I'm still checking in. So if the government is going is at the stage where they're feeling like they have to put up propaganda to keep people on this stupid merry-go-round. I think it's a good sign.
Well, did you see the footage of the French police asking for vaccine papers at a cafe?
No.
Yeah, it's so.
I didn't know anyone had approved that apart from New York.
They do now, yeah.
Yeah, well, there's police like, do you have, here in Victoria, I'm sure it's the same in New South Wales, but allegedly we have to use a QR code, and let's test if anyone does listen to me. I open my camera on my phone and point at it, and when the app triggers like, would you like to, and I just close I don't take a photo, I don't check in, I just look like I'm doing it.
There's no need to have you. There's nothing saying that any human is mandated to carry a phone on them all the time.
Exactly.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
So
but now you can
write it down in a book.
Well,
restaurants
is that
are
too,
doing it as well.
Yeah. Apparently now, I don't know. This is anecdotal. They tried to do it in Russia, and so anecdotal is I haven't seen any official or 3 different points of reference. But in Russia, they tried to do something similar to a vaccine passport to get into restaurants. It lasted 3 weeks because no one went to the restaurants.
Yeah.
And Putin killed it. Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm sure. Yeah, he probably called it a political
personally
assassination.
I put it in bear suit and wrestled it and
no
won.
Idea why I'm president for 30 years.
And drowned it.
No idea.
Yeah. The vaccine passport went on holiday to Siberia and slipped.
Exactly. You don't know what Gulag is called.
Not Gulag. They are called happy camps now.
No, they call the happy camps now Christmas Island.
Yeah, or Nibiru. No, not Nibiru. What's the other one? Nauru.
Tiamat.
Yeah. I'd love to see an Australian journal stuff up that. Yeah, the refugees have been sent to Nibiru. It's like those damn Anunnaki.
They're back.
Yeah.
Time's passed, but
I do like the concept of Nibiru, where it's a free floating planet with a force shield around it. And like, I just had an image that their brakes are shot and they try to. All right, we're going to Earth. They have Russian accents for this joke. We're going to Earth. Okay, there's Jupiter. There is Mars. Look, there is Earth. Pause. Stop. Wait, look, we've just gone past Venus.
There
what are you doing? Look out for the sun. Try the handbrake.
everybody pull up your jackets.
Yeah.
Right.
Open the windows and put jackets out the window. Yeah, air brake. For the love of Anu, do something.
A Flintstone is approaching.
There are some deep woo-woo conspiracy jokes right there. I don't get it. What the hell are they talking about? Oh, that's the one thing about Killing Eve. The villain of the piece, the actress is called Jodie Comer, or it's spelled Comer. I don't think they would Comer because too much. Yeah, Comer. She's British, but she does so many accents. Like, because that's part of the Assassin is they learn how to create a character, and she does accents really well. And she did Australian in one of the episodes, and like, well, F me, that's good.
Is it good? Is it better than mine? I don't know.
I don't know if you can. It's good, but it's not that good.
It's not good, eh?
Well, I'm trying to think of. I haven't done.
Straight away.
Yeah. Nah. Your accent is terrible. See, I can't do Boston, so I'm just trying to do
Quimby. Just Mayor Quimby.
Yeah, Mayor Quimby, which is based on the Kennedys. Yeah. Can you get out of the office there, please?
It's pretty good. You might be an agent.
Yeah. And I just love the car keys joke. I'm looking for my car keys. To start your car or a pair of pants?
Khakis. Yeah, I get
but
it.
the Australian accent is very unique in a certain way, and New Zealand is as well. New Zealand and Australian accents are different enough where there could be a civil war. Because New Zealanders hate Australians. It's like, then stop coming over here.
They don't hate us. We're brothers and sisters.
Oh yeah, we're all Anzacs. Got to remember that we're all Anzacs. But when, if you remember the first Point Break with Keanu Reeves and
the first one, is there a two? What?
They redid it. Yeah,
they did a remake because Hollywood is devoid of
Any new ideas whatsoever?
Well,
Patrick Swayze.
Patrick
Swayze.
Yeah.
I just
Apparently,
rewatched that. It's a fantastic.
well, yeah. At the
bad
end,
movie.
they don't go to Australia; they go to Portland, and that's why Bell's Beach looks nothing like Bell's Beach. But one of the policemen that I'm sure they have no idea if it's the Victorian police. They probably think, oh, it's the Australian police.
Oh, that's
It's Australian.
right.
And it's like, well, wait till he comes back in. It's like, why South Africa?
That was the worst Australian accent at the end there.
Yeah.
We'll get him when he gets back in.
Now, Peter Phelps, who was on Baywatch, he was the token Australian for that. So at least you've got, an Australian accent in there.
Yeah.
But it's quite good because the Red Hot Chili Peppers are in it, and Anthony Kiedis has his faux
like punk beach punks.
Yep. And it's got one of the best Metallica posters ever, where the band's sitting on a sand dune. It just says one, and it's in the background because one chili pepper throws a weapon to another chili pepper in slow motion. It's like, oh, gorgeous! And that movie was huge. Well, 1990 or 89 or 90. Yeah, and it was after Bill and Ted's. I remember that because when I can't remember Johnny Utah, and I can't remember Boosie because he's just Boosie. I think if that's the right one. Yeah, it's Boosie. It's not Nick Nolte. Is it?
Oh,
no.
Busey, Gary Busey.
Yeah,
Gary Busey. Yeah, his son looks exactly like his dad, doesn't he?
He's now known as Jeff Doherty.
Like clone-ish.
Yeah, those teeth are an ivory carver's dream. Let's be fair.
Anyway,
he became Gary Boozy anyway, so.
Yeah, it's like it is the cloning program where you must replace actors that we like. The characters actually have to go to different beaches because one of the dead presidents who was robbing from the bank, they scuff a counter and it's got sand and surf wax on it, and so they're trying to match the sand on the right
plot
beach.
Twist.
Oh yeah, and so Keanu Reeves goes up and just does. Is he Bill or Ted? I can't remember which one. But he does.
He's Ted. Yeah,
he does the Ted voice. Like, well, dude, you got something in your hair, and he just grabs it. It's like, and they're like, I freaked out. Oh, it's Ted. There you go.
That sounds like the plot line from Beverly Hills Cop when he finds the red soil.
That's a good one as well.
Yes, yeah, that's number 2. Don't watch Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Unless it's too late.
Unless you want to watch the George Lucas cameo.
Those are great.
It's still got the synth music though, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, it's got the good. Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty good for a dog.
Thank you. Thank you. Everyone, get on the floor. Throw your arms in the air. You're all going to die.
Yeah, you do a good Dalek. I reckon.
You do.
Now, thank you for saying that. But if you say that in Doctor Who, it sounds a bit sexual.
It does.
You're gonna do a good
Dalek.
Yeah.
Do they communicate the Dalek, or they just shoot orders?
A bit of both.
I don't think they think. I think they just repeat the orders given to them. It seems. I'm not sure if they're even sentient.
Actually, I don't know.
Can you ask one? Why are you doing this to me?
Yes, you can, because they're not. I think they're classed as cyborgs, but the Daleks themselves, they're little they're mini tanks with blobs in them
of human brain.
Have they actually opened one up?
Yeah,
in an
a couple
episode
of times.
somewhere.
Yeah, and a couple of them, yeah.
And it's just airplane jelly or something that's going.
Yeah, because Skyro has been at war for 1,000 years, so they're fighting with disintegration rifles and bows and arrows, and at the point that the story happens it's called Genesis of the Daleks with Tom Baker as the Doctor. Davros creates the Dalek because the Khaleds have been mutated so many times, and and it's just basically an allegory for Nazism and eugenics. And so the Dalek race, the infinite overlords of all time and space, is like you're a blob with tentacles in a mini tank with a sucker shut up. So it's there you go. That's the Doctor Who reference for this week.
Are they, because there's multiple Daleks, are they a collective group, or are they
No,
individualized?
it's not no. They're individuals, but they're genetically to obey orders, and it's all for one type thing. Yeah.
Sorry, in other Gary Busey's news, apparently, Husey, some Australian kind of B-grade comedian, kind of was interviewing him, and his parakeet attacked him in the eye. That's all.
Yeah. Yep.
Was it drunk?
Probably.
Husey, yeah. Apparently for a while, yeah, in the late 90s, early noughts, to get successful in stand-up comedy in Melbourne, you had to be called Dave.
It saw the tequila worm in its eye.
Yeah. So, yeah. He did well.
You weren't on Hey Hey It's Saturday, Monty.
Yeah, and also got cancelled by then.
That made a return there.
Yeah, on Wednesday. Ruined the whole premise of it.
That just stuffed up everything. Whose bright idea was that?
Oh, we can get better ratings. It's like, yeah, there's a reason why it's called Hey Hey It's Saturday. It was on Saturday.
People had a little chance to wind down, they're having a nice time.
Yeah, and I was racist because you had Pakistanis darken their face to do Michael Jackson Supremes crossover, and Harry Connick Jr. was on the panel for Red Faces and stood up for all the Americans because, the black and white minstrel show and everything else like that. This is highly racist. Like, they're Indian, they're brown. How is this? I mean, they're only a couple of shades away from black, but, woke going to woke.
That was a long time ago. It's great stuff, but that's a different show.
Ever hook up?
I'm not sure. Actually, it's quite funny. Agro's Cartoon Connection. I don't know how long it went on, forever, but that guy he moved to radio because he was tired of sticking his arm up over because he got old. But Americans are finding out how dirty Agro was with his, this is a kid show.
With that blonde chick.
Yeah.
Mostly, that's like watching Grease when you're a kid or something like that, and all the kind of pussy wag and all that kind of language kind of goes over your head at the time, So I'm sure all the connotations with Agro was where he was basically asking the chick to sleep with him and all that kind of stuff. And she'd just laugh it off. I'm pretty sure the kids didn't,
Basically, yeah, it's like watching The Goodies from the 70s, which is a UK comedy show.
I did that. Don't do it. Live with the beautiful memory. Don't go back and see actually how bad that show was.
The second time you can catch all the adult jokes because it comes across as it was an adult show, but there's a lot of adult jokes in there, and that's to keep the parents occupied and laugh. But it was done well where the kids are like, I don't know what that means.
I had such fond memories of that show when I did it, and I went back and I was so underwhelmed.
Mm-hmm. Have you Aussies?
Yeah.
Heard of Hotel? It's called like Hotel. It's a TV show in Australia called Hotel something, but they go and review hotels. These people, they go around, and it's like a reality TV show.
Have you also seen that? Have you also seen that awesome Australian export Foster's beer? That's another thing that actually isn't consumed in Australia.
Wait. You mean
the show he's talking about? It's a newer show. That's all.
It sounds like a straight to Betamax.
But I also like
out of this country.
I'd like to point out the producer, the presenter, and the camera crew. What a brilliant idea! Oh, we should do a show. How about we just go to luxury hotels and report on them?
Yes.
Fantastic. Let's do that.
No, but the people criticizing these hotels are just like,
common people.
Yeah, is it like a fixer-upper show, or what's the point to it, kind of thing?
No, it's like Getaway, where it's they're just an attractive young woman in a bikini going, this is fantastic.
Yeah, but not that. Right. It's a group of family members who are just common Aussie people sent overseas because they're funny, supposed to be funny people.
Yeah.
Right.
Remember Sylvanian Waters going back 30 years?
Was that reality? It was one of the first reality shows.
It was more of a documentary before the reality TV thing ruined documentaries. but it was about an upper middle class, lower upper class family and all their strife, and it was really popular because they're so dysfunctional, and it was pure drama, and it made people from the UK move to Australia, and a lot of people,
Sylvania Waters.
Yeah, as well. Yeah, Neighbours and Home and Away also. The people in England going, oh, it's shite here. It looks great down in Australia. I mean, look at Home and Away.
Let's go move into a cul-de-sac there in the sunshine.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And so what they did now, don't interrupt me because it's a kind of long story, but it's a short sentence. Welcome to Planet Collingwood.
No, let him keep this train on the tracks.
Yeah, see, because like a long story in this program's only a sentence. The British families would relocate to Australia, realise it's not the same as on TV, and then move back to England and go, well, it's still better than this shithouse, and move. They would go back to Australia. So they would move to Australia, move back, and then go back again. So they move one, two.
Is that it?
They moved 3 times.
I was going to say, and shortly after the series Prisoner came out. No,
no, that came out in the 70s.
That was hardcore.
Roses.
You
don't care about me.
What a hardcore kind of prison.
A women's prison TV show on Australian.
And there's scraps and stuff, and you see them like get in there and pull the other one's hair, and they're like the chick fight.
Wait. Not The Prisoner with
no,
Prisoner
completely
was
different.
a super old.
No, it's been rebooted. There is a current version.
He's out there somewhere. Well, shout out to Surrey Sunflower.
Oh yeah, Willow. Yeah, she loves
Willow,
Patrick McGowan.
Andreasen.
Yeah,
shout out
loves
Surrey.
Patrick McGowan, and I do too. And I do have an autograph from Patrick McGowan. He actually played in Braveheart, I think, the King or whatever, of England. As one of his last roles. But he played the prisoner as one of the most fantastic series.
Yes, I am not a number. I'm a man.
Right.
Yeah, it's that popular. Iron Maiden wrote a song about it.
They did.
Called The Prisoner. Go figure. And they actually, the manager rang up and had to ask Patrick McGowan for permission to use that little bit of sample. I can't remember if it's on the record, but they do use it live, where it's cool. Speech. It's like, I am number 3, you're number 7. I am not a number, I'm a man. And then the song starts. But they actually,
cool.
Yeah. So the manager's like, I'm ringing Patrick McGowan, and he's shitting himself.
No, he's great. He was fantastic. That show has so much philosophy behind it. And I think the guy, McGowan, he was poised to be the next James Bond, and he kind of forego it to do that series. So he's a remarkable person, and I suggest anybody, and that still holds up. I watched it not too long ago. It's just a classic,
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, good. So that's the thing about there's nothing to watch. It's like, well, there's nothing new to watch, but there's a century worth of material to watch. You can still watch the Marx Brothers movies, and you'll laugh out loud because that's how great the comedy, the jokes are.
Three Stooges. I watched the Three Stooges, and it's still awesome. No one can top them.
Well, not my cup of tea, but I can respect it for what it is and the influence.
It's so stupid.
I know, and it still works. It still works. So that's do not base your entire career on my opinion. The Goon Show, which ran for 9 years every Sunday, and Spike Milligan had to write every episode. He ended up in a mental institution because it was just like it's too much. Yeah, it just took his toll on him, and he went mad. And if you listen to the Goon stuff, where it's completely surreal, where the Goon Show was like, I think the cat wants to go out. Really? How can you tell? Well, it has its hat and coat.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not funny, but it was back in the 1950s. And that's because as comedy evolves, these old jokes don't work. Well, they did, and they were hilarious. There's a reason why they were influenced. And the Goon Show influenced the Monty Python guys and so on and so forth. Another one was, would you care to join us? Why? Have you fallen apart? Just all this wordplay and everything else like that. And for 9 years on radio, it was Harry Seacombe, Spike Milligan, and Oh dear, Peter Sellers, who went on to
Oh,
do
wow.
movies as well, and just some
Yeah.
of the stuff. It's
He was in Kubrick films. Yeah.
yeah. Apparently, there's a movie with Jeffrey Rush called The Life and Death of Peter Sellers. If you like Peter Sellers, it's worth watching. It's great. Jeffrey plays Peter so well. But when they're doing Doctor Strangelove or How Turned Out to Where I Fell in Love with the Bomb, Peter was doing so many roles that Kubrick wanted him to do the Slim Pickens role. And
Oh, wow.
Peter turns up on set with plaster on his right foot. I'm ready to do my part. He's in crutches and got plaster all around his foot. And Stanley's like, does anyone have Pickens' number? And so that's why Slim Pickens has got it. Because back then, Peter would do sort of, you know how Eddie Murphy in The Nutty Professor and all that stuff, he would do multiple characters. Peter Sellers sort of did that first, where I think it's The Mouse That Roared. He didn't in one of his films. He played 9 characters.
That's more than Eddie Murphy, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, but today, of course, the woke lefties like, well, he's just stealing jobs from underprivileged Nigerian amputee, gay, bisexual. Yeah. I mean, the whole thing with Scarlett Johansson, she's going to play a trans character. Well, I'm sorry, and the movie got canned.
Or did actually trans come out and say actually someone with trans should actually be playing that character?
I'd like to clarify. The insane trans lobby did, yes.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah,
well, at least they're consistent.
Yeah, because when people say, oh, the left, it's like, no, it's not all the left. It's the far left knobs that are insane. And also, I've noticed, I could be wrong. We'll just do a quick survey around the table. Have you noticed a lot of people that have mental illness seem to lean to the left?
I think it's just holding hard and fast to that cognitive dissonance, like
that's so you're
explaining going down the river.
Yeah, but that's a yes. I didn't say please explain it because we can get to that. But yes. I've noticed, a lot of people that are like, we need social rights and guinea pigs need better wheels, and it's like I'm having a mental illness day. Like I wonder if there's a connection. I don't really see that many people on the right that have mental illness. I mean,
I'd like to bring it back to guinea pigs and wheels.
They could be stuffed in the head. Let's be fair. But it's the all right.
It depends on how you define.
I'm just picturing people at home listening, sitting in their chair, who heard, "If you're leaning to the left, you're a dirty scoundrel," and they've all leaned to the right.
Oh, come on now! I was reaching for my beer. I'm not. How dare you?
I suppose I'm listening to the left.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm in the 20th century. I would have said I would be in the left, being from the entertainment artistry stuff. But over the last 20 years, someone's taken the goalpost and ran with it, where everyone right of Stalin is like. And that's the other thing.
It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Yeah, it's just a pointless divide and conquer label,
yeah.
Where people forget that the communism was a left ideology, and so were the Nazis. But
well, it depends on how you define it,
Yeah,
Or they could be seen as extreme right. And I've heard people argue that they're extreme right because the state corporate power is so entwined, right?
Yeah, but that's fascism, which is
right. That's
correct. No, we have to say correct there. Sorry.
Yeah. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yeah, I've learnt this while navigating in a car. You have to say correct so we're turning left, right. All right. No, why are you turning right? Correct. We are turning right. Correct. Yeah, left. Damn it. See how? Yeah, chaos reigns.
But anyway, so yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Pony. It's very hard. There's nothing really to talk about except for a false plague.
Oh, it's Pony. Hey, Pony, what's going on? I heard Pony.
Hour 85, a minute 85. Brandon recognizes Pony.
No, I don't. I'm not looking at the chat. I'm sorry. I don't have the.
No, well, Pony's been with us from the start.
Well, I know, but he's
like
on
3 weeks
right now.
Yeah. Well, okay. Get to your point, sir. Sorry.
Anyway, he had a show on earlier, and he was making points about, just the children and sort of all these things, and it was just great to hear him. I'm glad he's still around. That's all.
Yeah, you're alive. Good work.
Yeah. Yeah, it's big. Good, you know.
And what I find interesting as well, where the Australian apathy is engaged, where from the mainstream point of view, where it's worse than North Korea here, but it's the Australian version. Get inside. All right. Only because my chair's there. You know what I mean? It's that level when we don't have the Stasi with big sticks beating the crap out of us yet. But it's that it's that Australian, like it's I find it fascinating where people will call it lazy, but it's really hot here a lot, so with lethargic.
Queensland's worse. I've been to
Oh
Queensland.
yeah, it's closer to the sun. That's the problem there.
There's no one on the streets in the middle of the day.
Yeah, because it's freaking hot.
Yeah, we went to. It's hot. It is. We went to, and you can't swim because there's all jellyfish in there. We went to. There was no one on the street, so we went to the bottler, and there are just pallets and pallets of light beer. Everyone's just on the light beer all day.
Yeah, instead of actually like having a session and getting like a slab, or I'm going to do some translating here, or a case of beer, 24 bottles or cans. They drink for the entire day, but it's light beer. So they have the same amount of alcohol, but they stretch it over the day because it's just way too hot. I'm amazed any crime actually happens in Queensland. Well, I'm going to be you. Oh, I'm not going to be you. I owe you one. All right. I'm going to go inside for the aircon.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's interesting where one article I did see, apparently the London Marathon was run, and like I don't know how that happened. Did they call it a Black Lives Matter protest? And yeah, all right, we all that happened, but it got to 20 now.
The bricks are at the finish line.
Yeah, yes. Cortek and Pony, you will laugh, but the competitors were exhausted and were dropping because it got to a whopping 23 Celsius, which is like I think around about 70 Fahrenheit.
Yeah, I got a couple of sachets of concrete they can take with their next drink.
Speaking of Mario Brothers,
were they wearing masks?
No, they weren't. They weren't.
Must be.
But yeah, but 25 degrees Celsius is really hot in
56
England.
Kelvin. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, in Queensland,
I measure everything in Kelvin.
Oh, they make great underpants. No, Queensland. When Queenslanders come down to Victoria, and it's lower than 25, so it's between 70 and 80 Fahrenheit. They actually ask to turn the heater on because it's cold. Because in Queensland, 23 degrees is cold for them.
Yeah,
and
they can't get around in a pair of stubbies and thongs.
Yeah, basically, yeah. You acclimate to your environment, and so I thought Melbourne got cold, and then I met Canadians. It's like, yeah, all right, you win. But apparently, it also gets up to 40 degrees as well. So Canada is a very interesting country for many reasons.
Where's Bruce?
In Costa Rica, enjoying the weather. That's the level. This is the level of reality we are having here at Planet Collingwood. We're talking about the weather. Badly. Yep. It's well, it was windy and rainy here, so.
Women only call me ugly until they find out how much money I make. Then they call me ugly and poor.
Oh, it's like that 400-pound gentleman that won the lottery. About a week later, he found his sweetheart, it looked like a cheerleader. Apparently, he's really funny.
Got a bit of candy stuck between his cheeks. Sweetheart.
Thanks for that image. Thanks for that image.
You're welcome.
Honey, where are you? I'm trying to stand up.
I found some candy.
Yeah. So it's like Nicole Anna Smith, who married an 89-year-old. Yeah.
What about what's her name, who used to be married to Mick Jagger? She's married now to Rupert Murdoch or something, and just waiting out the clock, going, "Yeah, I'll take you to the beach. Yeah, I'll get you breakfast. Yeah, I'll wipe
Jerry Hall,
spit off your mouth." Jerry Hall, that's it.
Let's go for a jog. Come on.
She's waiting out the clock on that one.
Look, there's some stairs. Let's climb them, honey.
Come on, let's go up to that lookout
Yes.
with the faulty railing.
Nothing sus.
Jerry Hall is with Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah.
I think so.
Gotcha.
Jerry's
Asthma
daughter,
pump.
Georgia.
Yeah. It's interesting here in Australia where there's a problem with like the Rupert Murdoch, Murdoch media group, where the left say, oh, it's just all Murdoch propaganda. It's like, yeah, but there's some bit of truth coming out of it, and there's not really that much diversity in the news. Same with the United States, where 6 major companies owns 95% of the mainstream.
Might as
And
well.
it's and I like, it's still funny when there is not a small group of people running the planet. That explained Jeffrey Epstein, and there's only 6 companies that own all the, like a Time Warner company and everything else like that. Oh, well, it's that cognitive dissonance. Well, the government will lie to me. They have been since you were born.
Right.
I haven't seen any examples of anything to show me anything different anyway.
Well, yeah, it's well, the latest one is everyone get vaccinated and we'll go to normal. And then you find out people with who are vaccinated are getting COVID and spreading it.
Yeah,
So,
it does seem like that, doesn't it?
It's like, well, hang on.
That same model that was in the UK, where it seemed like more people who had got the second one were then the people who were having trouble and everything, or being super spreaders, or
and India had
seems
the same.
That seems the same in Australia. Like everyone around the time when a lot of people who were going to go do it, that seemed like that massive jump. But they might be just increasing the cycles in the PCR test.
Well, the CDC is removing the PCR test at the end of the year because they can't determine COVID from the flu. Yeah. And like, you think that bit of information would get out? And sort of go, well, hang on.
A year and 72 weeks ago.
I'm thinking, like, there are people dying. That's a given, but who knows it's actually COVID? Because, you could fall down some stairs like future Rupert Murdoch, and if he's got COVID, it's a COVID death. Or you fall out of an aeroplane without a parachute. Oh, that's a COVID death.
COVID, yeah.
Yeah, and it's, here in Victoria, unfortunately, a young man in his late 20s passed away. He had COVID. And then all his friends and family pointed out he was in stage 4 cancer. Mm. And so, that whole... Oh, yeah. And so the whole corruption in that, the PCR tests don't work 100%, and they're using it differently. The way that, damn it, we're talking about the anyway. The way that they're reporting COVID, the numbers are being fiddled. The flu has been taking people the same way because their immunity, their immune system has been compromised or just old or whatever, and yet the healthy people are being quarantined, and it's all this. And I think the governments have painted themselves into a corner, and they're still believing that this plague is deadly. So, like, well, I've got a 99.97% chance of beating the original one, and so the variant. Now, it is a possibility a variant can get stronger. It has happened, but most likely it's getting weaker because that's how a virus works. And so it could be not a super flu, but it wants to be a super flu when it grows up.
Yeah, it seemed like I mean, I saw the dude who invented mRNA kind of say, this is a virologist's worst dream, where kind of what you're giving actually what you're administering actually excites the virus more.
Yeah, as well as there is a lot of anecdotal evidence from medical professionals who, unlike Dr. Fauci, see patients, and no one has turned. If they get COVID or what is labelled as COVID, they're given hydroxychloroquine, whatever, the droxy. Still can't see. My comedic brain just overrides to pronounce it.
Hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah, the droxy, Yep. And the other isurvivin or whatever it is. Anyway, there's treatments that, strangely enough, were banned in Victoria in February 2020. Nothing sus. And there are treatments, but even on a base level, you have not seen any health organisations or politicians, government, blah, 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 get vitamin D, eat healthy, get exercise.
Right.
And I did see an article from the BBC saying that the immune system is a right-wing conspiracy. Like, that's fascinating. If I knew the doctor that discovered that in the 1800s, I didn't know he was a Trumper.
Was it a doctor or was it just someone wearing a white coat with glasses?
Oh, yeah, no.
And
Well,
a
see,
wig.
in the 1800s,
And a wig.
yeah, and a wig, yeah.
And
Well, back
clown
then,
shoes.
it could have been a wig back then because they wore a lot of wigs and powder. But it's the twisting science and like, oh, but I didn't see that in a peer review science journal. Yeah, strangely enough, because that peer review papers from people that actually have to follow the narrative to keep getting funding. And if they go against the narrative, they won't get funding.
I didn't know this, but Fauci was heavily involved in the whole AIDS thing and was using PCRs to get false positives back in the 1980s.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And we needed a vaccine back then. And it's like, okay. But it is fascinating. Like Ron Paul, and people are going, oh, but he got vaccinated. It's like, it's not about the vaccine. It's about choice. He's been banned on YouTube, and he's actually come out and said, well, it's a badge of honor because I'm telling people my truth. And he's challenging Fauci. And Rand Paul actually had patience.
Rand Paul, yeah.
Yeah, Rand Paul. Rand. So it's the Australian English. Rand.
Well,
Not the Ron. Rand. And it's interesting as well where you can see the divide where because he's a Republican and he was being harassed in Washington. I can't remember what it was. I think it was this year. But they were getting very jostled, and I don't know if they actually had any Secret Service around him or whatever. And him and his wife nearly got threatened. I think he actually had someone break into his house and threatening him. And the FBI and so forth, oh, yeah, whatever. But then you have AOC basically saying, I was feared for my life and I could have been raped. It's like, well, how? You're at least 400 meters away from the Capitol building in a tunnel. Like, you know, this whole thing about another way of putting it is like, if you look at all the protests of BLM and Antifa, they dot every state in the United States, multiple. And then you've got how many MAGA rallies that were destructive or MAGA riots. And it was just January 6th, apparently, just one. And that's the latest 9/11. You know, the hypocrisy is just fantastical at the moment.
It's so diluted and obtuse.
Yeah. Now, if you look at the whole insurrection, technically the people that stormed the Capitol were stopping the insurrection.
Are they still keeping under hush-hush like the 30 or 40 CIA people they had mixed in there?
Oh, yeah, yeah. There are people still, like, since January, there are people still in jail because of the whole thing. And it's come out that the FBI is ignoring evidence and everything else like that. It's very similar to election tampering. Oh, there's no evidence. It's like, no, yeah, there's no evidence because you refuse to look at the evidence.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
Yeah, and if you have this argument with people, just go to the end and say, okay, fine. If he won the election, why aren't we allowed to check the results?
Yeah, questions that can't be answered, not answers that can't be questioned.
And it's, you just watch people try and squirm. It's like, no, that's just a simple thing. If it's transparent and there's nothing wrong and we're not allowed to check the results, that sounds like a 4-year-old that just stole a cupcake from the counter, or something like that. Mm-hmm. No, I didn't do it. You got chocolate all over your face. No.
Chocolate, you know, that just over the whole face.
You're holding the wrapper of the. No, there's not. You know that how people that get caught in a crime or they're doing something wrong, and they're basically their decision is to deny completely
or double down.
Well, what you mean? Steal another cupcake in front of you? That's still denial.
Make the lie even bigger.
Well, yeah, it's a thing. Like, you know, I didn't do it. There's footage of you grabbing a knife and stabbing you in the neck 18 times, screaming, "I'm going to kill you." Like, oh, that wasn't me. It's just there. Like, there's a photo. Look at that. Like, you posted on social media you were going to do it. Wasn't me. You know, they think that denial is like, yeah.
But it does seem like the facts. It does seem like the facts are all there and they're just ignored.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just deny, and like, okay.
The fact that the PCR test could never differentiate between flu and COVID strains is ridiculous.
Yeah,
This whole
it's
thing was
like,
based
really?
on it. People's livelihoods on YouTube were taken down for it, big censorship, stuff like that. Those platforms should be abandoned, really.
Well, yeah, your apathy is a gift, and you vote with your wallet. Like from the entertainment perspective, if there's something that you despise and hate, I just bring up The Last Jedi because it's a wonderful callback joke. But if I don't like anything with Star Wars now, I do not say anything. I don't engage with it at all because by stepping in and going, well, this is terrible. It's good publicity for the show type thing. If you ignore it and just let it die, you win. And it's the same thing with like, oh, we have to take China down. All right, first step, stop buying shit from China.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not what they're selling; it's what you're buying.
That's not the way of the Jedi, Monty.
Well, we did have. Oh, we've got 3 minutes, so let's talk census. I did write down Jedi for my religion in the we had census night yesterday here in Australia. Big bloody whoop, and people's like, I'm not doing it. I return to sender. Just fill it out. I mean, if you've got, you're on Facebook. Don't give me that. Oh, they'll track me crap. You're on Facebook.
Exactly.
I can see a lot of people thinking like that because they're just a general distrust of the government, though.
Oh yeah, but it's that I'm not a slave and I'm fighting back. It's like you pay taxes. You've been on social media for a decade. You have a smartphone. Yeah. Not wearing a mask is not really the stand you want to do. Type thing. It's I mean, I wear a mask because it protects me from a $200 fine. And it's coercion and everything else. And I can't be bothered. This is where I learned that I didn't have to wake people up anymore because I'm tired of those conversations. It's like, oh, no, Trump lost because a lot of people voted for Biden. It's like, well, let's look at the evidence. No, that's all bullshit. Mm-hmm. But we haven't had a look. No, that's all lies, fake news. Well, what of it? No. Trump's clearly a racist. Why? Because he funds black universities, supports Israel, and goes on and on. And it's throwing bricks into the Grand Canyon.
It's fun for a while. I still reckon that'd be pretty good for about half an hour.
Yeah, half an hour, but you're not going to fill it in half an hour.
No.
But it's a group thing. So, Tony, you're going to continue on because we've got about 2-3 minutes to go of Planet Collingwood.
That reminds me of some Australian humour. What do you call a boomerang that doesn't come back? A stick.
Yeah. The great from the Simpson episode of Australia. Yeah, that throwing stick debacles boomeranged on us. Wordplay, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. So, this has been Planet Collingwood. My name's Monty Dean. I can be found on social. Yes. Thank you. There will be an after party with the Pones. Should I keep going with this, or should shut it down and you start up a new one? Pony?
Yes.
Right.
Right.
Do you I'm in shock. Do you like red wine or white wine? Yes.
Yeah. I'm in shock because I'm asking direct questions and I'm getting an answer. It's like, that's so weird for Planet Collingwood. Usually I get 45 minutes of like, yeah, but I like pollywaffles.
Well, you set your yes and no rules at the beginning. I think that was a wise move.
To be fair, you did ask multiple questions then, so I'd have to give multiple answers.
Correct.
Yes.
So you can find me on Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all Waferthin Entertainment, either on PocketNet if you want to go into that. And Planet Collingwood will be back in 6 days and 22 hours for another, either a moment of zen, wasting time, or just having fun and slowly releasing tension in the background. I have had a wonderful chat with Cortek, Pony, and Brandon Young. Gentlemen, can you talk over each other and tell people where they can find you?
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Most likely we'll see you next week. Who knows if we'll be in lockdown once more. and I'm getting to the point where I can actually blame the government for most of my problems now. It's genuine. It's like, well, we're in lockdown, so how am I supposed to earn a living?
Yeah. Well, you Aussies like the chains, right?
No.
You're used to it. No, I'm joking.
That's how we started, but we got better.
Yeah.
Well, here in Victoria, we didn't have a penal colony. We had a gold rush. So there you go. Is that in the background? No, we've got about a minute to go. So if you stick around for an after party, Pony Pones will canter in and take a bit of code and go for a ride. I'm going to keep watching Killing Eve because I'm still in my pajamas because, hey, it's lockdown, yo.
Sure. Take advantage of it, you know.
I'm going to check it out.
Yeah, well, it is, weak. Yeah, that's the problem. You know what the worst part of a 7-day lockdown? It's the first 3 weeks.
Hey.
There, you've been listening to. I know, another 2 years. You have been listening to Planet Collingwood here on Studio A on Revolution Radio. Thank you for listening. Thank you for playing. Thank you, ball boys. Thank you, ball girls. Thank you, all the women and all the men, and everything else like that. We shall return.